Hey everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Breath of Fire 3. Last time, we went ahead and took out the Berserker and the Dragon Lord, and this time we're off to the final stretch to fight Myria, or Myria the Goddess, or Myria Monica. I don't know what her name is. I do know what her name is, I'm being stupid. But, we're gonna take her out, for once and for all. She needs to go. I've changed, that is really random, that I just picked up that burglar garb. That's a very rare drop from that specific monster. I was, however, going to go ahead and steal that later on, but I guess I'll just go ahead and equip it for now with Ray. It is Ray's best equipment, and very, very random that I picked it up now. So the Breath of Fire 3 gods are on our side. This is what I've got equipped so far. The Royal Sword, some Dragon Armor, Life Armor, some Titan Belts. Holy Avenger, just equipped the Burglar's Garb, if you saw. With Gar, I have a Cupid's Lyre just because I think it's cute, and then he's got a little Hawk's Ring. The Cupid's Lyre is there specifically so that when if he takes damage from the Beast Spear, while we walk, he recovers that damage. When I had come to think of it, I had realized that I never showed you guys where we could use the keycard A, and here it is. If you remember, this is actually right by where the beds are in the workers area, and I could have showed you guys this, I mean, many episodes ago, but I guess it kind of just slipped my mind, and I figured, well, we couldn't really do anything about it before we had the card anyway, so, well, that's all there is to it. That being said, we're at the, like I've told you guys, the final stretch. It's a dead end down here, and the monsters in here, the enemies in here are really, really strong. There's some new enemies in here, a Mistman and some Revenants. Let's take out the Revenants first, who are weak against Holy. So I also added, just if you saw there, I added Cure and Blitz to raise repertoire as far as skills go. That should help out here in the near future. Let's take out, well, both of these enemies have skills that I want to learn, but these guys hit really hard, so what I'm gonna do for now is just take it kind of slow. Let's go ahead and take these out now, the Revenants first. So the Revenants can drop very rarely, 1 in 256, Diana's Dress, which is essentially the best female armor that you can wear. The Mistman drops a Mist Armor, which is debatably the best piece of armor you can wear, and also has the Thundr Strike, and that's the skill that I'd like to learn from him right now. So I'm going to take some time to do that real fast, shield up and everything like that while I do so, because it might take a little while, and I'll meet you guys when I go ahead and learn it off screen here. Hey, there we go, Thundr Strike. That's what we were learning to get there, and that actually completes the strikes, the skills that we've needed to get. I mean, the Thundr Strike, it's kind of rough, the sense that they give it to you, I mean, so far down the line into the game. I mean, we're at the last of the dungeon here. With the Mistman having such high defense, we're just going to go ahead and use Shadow Walk. He is pretty resistant to the Holy status, or the Holy attribute element, so Ray is not going to do a lot of damage. Ryu, even with his electricity on the Royal Sword, he'll still do quite a bit of damage, especially with Shadow Walk to take him out. What's nice about Thundr Strike is that it does have, kind of like Frost Strike, it has a proc, probably about 25% I would imagine, to paralyze, whereas Frost has the ability to put enemies to sleep. Let's see if these are new enemies here. Yep, got some vampires and the night bats here. Now, the vampire has the item that I wanted to steal initially, which was the burglar's garb that we got dropped from the nightmare. So let's first take out these night bats, and let's use Ray. You know what? Let's use Ray to go ahead and cast Blitz. These vampires are not easy, so don't take them too lightly. I would say he does have a skill that we want to learn too, so I'm just going to try to take out the night bats, and I'm going to go ahead and guard the rest of the way. There's 2 phases to the vampire, by the way. Before I should continue, the nightmares, or I should say the night bats, they can go ahead and cast gloom, which you can learn, but I learned that a long time ago, nearly at the beginning of the game. So you saw there that the vampire said it got flustered, and typically what would happen is that the vampire has the ability to gain 500 HP per turn, kind of like the Archmage. But that's, I guess I got too hasty. That's where it says vampire is flustered. This flag gets raised when he's just by himself, and it changes his attacks to doing things like death, triple blow, and evil eye. So the skill that we want to learn is evil eye. It's kind of lucky that we just got raised through willpower there. But the fact of the matter is, we're gonna take a little bit of a beating trying to learn evil eye. However, it will be well worth it to just add to our skill collection. I mean, we're almost there, having all the skills in the game. It looks like there it was. We learned it right at the spot. I was gonna just go ahead and go off screen, but it doesn't look like I need to. And so now I would like to go ahead and let's use Cure, which you learned from the Drac back in the Desert of Death. Let's just go ahead and use Thundr Strike. Let's just see what we can do as far as this goes. Do you want to use Thundr Strike? He's got about 1,000 HP, so he's, like I said, he's not really a pushover by casting things like Death and Evil Eye. And as you saw there, what Evil Eye does... Oh man, don't cast this on Ryu. What Evil Eye does is that it casts Paralyze. That's really rare. I'm getting very rare. Breath Fire 3 gods are definitely smiling upon me. It casts Paralyze on the opponent that you're using it on. Let's go ahead. Yeah, let's go ahead and use Triple Blow. And with Ryu, let's see if we can get a Shadow Walk in. I kind of doubt it though. I just really want to take him out as fast as possible. I feel like he's going to take Ryu out with either Death or Triple Blow or something like that. So let's just try to take him out. Double Blow. And the interesting thing to know about Paralyze is, you know, with Thundr Strike, with Evil Eye, or even with the Chimera that you saw a couple episodes ago, Paralyze is not a status effect. I repeat, it is not a status effect. It's a dead end that you can actually prevent. So if you remember, I would try to equip things like the Protectors, and I even tried to equip the Light Bangle to help out, which Light Bangle with the Protectors is supposed to give 100%, like a ribbon, basically 100% immunity to all status changes. So I was really wondering why Paralysis hit there. But fact of the matter is, I learned that Paralysis is not a status you can defend. Yeah, I think one of the important things to keep in mind when fighting against those vampires is that you can steal the Burglar's Garb, and it's definitely Ray's best piece of equipment. And on top of that, he'll heal himself 500 HP every turn unless he's alone. But when he's alone, he can start doing some rough spells on you. Well, in that battle there, Ray just gained a level. He got a pretty massive jump in power. I think his power went up by 4, so really good stuff there. Yeah, I'm actually going back and forth here because there's one more enemy that I'd like to fight. Hey, there he is, the Goo King. Alright, oh man, another really tough guy. God. I need to make sure that my speed is above 70. So let's go ahead, instead of equipping 2 Titan belts, let's go ahead and equip a speed boot. And the reason for that is because the Goo King right now, at his current state, he has a very high percentage of just flat out running away. However, when you have successful steal on him, he'll want the item back, and I'll show you when well, that becomes pertinent here. Just a second here. Let's go ahead and double blow. But the fact of the matter is, you have to act before the Goo King does, and that's why you need to have a higher agility than him, which is at 70. He's pretty quick. But you'll see it says you grabbed a green apple. The 100% steal, and when it becomes Goo King's turn, it will say Goo King wants the item back, which means he's gonna stay and fight you. Typically, if you didn't steal that green apple, there's a low percentage that he would use either charge or attack, but most times he'll run away. But now, here comes the real battle. Once you steal that green apple, he wants it back. I mean, that green apple sucks, dude. Seriously, 20 HP, but he's gonna throw a goddamn meteor on us for that? Anyways, my suggestion to you would be to hit him with everything that you got. You need to kill him and kill him quickly. He'll cast things like Ragnarok, he'll cast Tornado, which takes everyone down to their fatal HP. He'll use charge, he'll use attack, and when I say he uses charge, it's not like the old Volts that used charge on McNeil Mansion. Those guys suck. This guy's defense is high, so his charge does a lot of damage. Fortunately though, he doesn't have a huge amount of HP, and we're able to take him out pretty fast, which is pretty nice. Let me heal up here real fast. The last thing I should note about the Goo King is the fact that he is the enemy that does have Ryu's final and most powerful ultimate weapon. It's a 156 drop called the Goo King Sword, and I will not be getting it. Well, moving on here with this new area, we've got a couple of these doors that got some red lights on it. And this area is, well, particularly special, I guess you could say. Let's go ahead and make sure I'm all well equipped, and let's step into the ring here and fight some old friends. You guys remember these guys? Now that I think about it, they're kind of like the Chimeras, but way less intimidating. These are the News that we used to fight back in, I mean, shoot, like this was back in the very first boss almost that we fought, right? I mean, it was the first boss. As a matter of fact, they're called sample ones, but the fact is, they're still the same News. I would have thought that I was going to take him out in one hit and not use triple blow, but no, of course not. Thanks, Ray. Ray literally left him with 19 HP. They got 290 HP. But you'll see that they're using the same exact attacks that they used on us back at the very beginning of the game. Wow, my party's doing terrific, taking out the easiest enemies in the game. Thanks, guys. Making me look real good here. But anyways, you can take these News out by just simply attacking. And what you'll notice here is that in this area, we will be fighting a boss gauntlet of pretty much every boss that we've fought in the entire game. Well, most of them at least. But instead of continuing on through the right side, I actually want to peer over to the left side. Yeah, I think it's really interesting, this area, specifically because the fact that with these enemies being called samples, it kind of gives way to thinking that, did Myria create these things? I mean, I honestly have no idea. Here's some more numbskulls here. You guys remember these guys from McNeil Mansion? The Farm? Rocky the Rooster. Well, I prepared for Rocky the Rooster by putting Blitz on Ray. And I did that for a reason. I mean, I knew I'd be fighting 5 of them, and I mean, I could take them out one by one, but let's see if Ray has the ability to take them all out at the same time. Yeah, that's what I thought. Nice work, Ray. Yeah, and you can still steal things from the News, like the power-up foods, and as you saw, the Rockies, they dropped life shards. Those are all still things that you can get. Now, lastly, before I go into this room, I want to make sure that I have the Dragon Blade equipped. Okay. Holy Avenger. Guess I can take the speed boots off and add a Titan belt. type. There it is. And with Gar, maybe I could just throw an Artemis's cap. She sometimes misses. I'm really tired of that. Hawk's Ring. Just switch this one out for... Well, I'd like to throw a Titan belt on, but I don't think he has one. Or I don't think we have an extra one. Do we? 1, 2, 4. Well, we should, but I'm not really gonna pay much use to it or pay much attention to it. Let's put a Thundr Ring on for this fight specifically, because who we'll be facing here, facing off against, we will be fighting 3 stallions. But unlike the stallions that we fought previously when we were a kid, these stallions have an elemental, basically an elemental strength to them: ice, fire, and thunder. So let's go ahead and take out the... Let's take out the ice first. That's why I put on the Dragon Blade here. And as a matter of fact, with that said, I'm actually going to go ahead... I'm going to have a little bit of fun with this whole boss gauntlet here. Let's go ahead and pick Force and Trance. There's no real need to... Let's go ahead and use Thundr Strike? No, I want fire-based attacks. Pyrokinesis is good. Pyrokinesis is basically a flame strike. And I'm gonna have a little bit of fun with the boss gauntlet. I'm gonna turn into a dragon every once in a while and, you know, kind of waste these guys away. Now, if you remember, I had the Dragon Blade equipped. I told you guys that it was really important for me to steal that from Tipo, and I wanted to use it against him. And because he was a dragon type enemy, and the Dragon Blade does extra damage to dragon enemies. But the dragon also, the Dragon Blade, it doesn't work with just the Dragon Blade. See, you can have a weapon equipped, such as the Dragon Blade, that was also flame property, and the flame property will hold to your elemental. It'll transfer over even after you have gone and transformed. So it's kind of like saying that even with the increase in power that you get from the dragon transformation, it carries over, the elemental strength carries over to the power, I guess you could say, the power conversion, right? And I'm saying this because you'll see me throughout this boss gauntlet, in this video and the next video, you'll see me actually kind of destroy these bosses by utilizing an elemental weakness and then transforming, and then, or using something like Shadow Walk and just wasting away people. I mean, for instance, if you remember against the Dragon Lord, I was just ripping apart Tipo because of the fact that, well, I was using Shadow Walk specifically. Shadow Walk is a critical blow, which, well, it basically destroys your defense. The enemy at that point doesn't have any defense at all in the attack, in the damage conversion. So I just utilize this elemental strength to be able to do tons of damage. It's a huge explanation just to say that. But yeah, you can see that these guys aren't really that easy to deal with. I mean, they're still putting up a little bit of a fight. Instead of using utmost attack, which they will use if they get to a certain amount of health, they use, instead of attacking, they pretty much do these elemental spells like Fire Blast, Ice Blast, Thunder, things like that. I'm gonna go ahead and use Flame Strike. Hopefully that'll kill him. And now I'll go ahead and restore form, because the fact that, if you remember, I have to restore form because of the fact that I have the flame property on the Dragon Blade right now. So just gonna do that. And with Gar, we can go ahead and use super combo. Let's see if I can get one good super combo in this Let's Play. Whew, I'm gonna have to focus. I'm getting a little bit, getting a little bit anxious here. All right, here we go. One good super combo. Let's go. Let's go. 6 hits, not bad. You know, sometimes I think it's a little bit random. You know, sometimes I'll get 6, sometimes I'll get 5, sometimes I'll get 0. But it's really hard for me to ever get 7 or 8. And I used to think to myself, like, well, it must be because of the fact that if you press it fast enough, then maybe you'll actually get more combos by pressing it fast enough. And sometimes that works, but not all the time. I feel like there's a little bit of a randomness factor that plays in part. So go ahead and use Shadow Walk with the Royal Sword so that it won't actually heal him with the Dragon Blade. It would have, I think. Maybe not Shadow Walk, but a regular attack would have. But yeah, I'm gonna be using these elemental weapons to basically bolster my damage throughout this boss gauntlet here. And you're probably wondering, I mean, geez, Mickey, you spent a ton of AP there, and you're totally right. And I did that because of the fact that I knew that I'd be coming right here into this nice little save room, and right here to a beautiful bed. And a Cupid's lyre. So let's go ahead and use the bed here. And what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm actually gonna go back to the main corridor where the news were. So let's go ahead and double back, and I would like to learn one more spell or one more skill before moving on with the boss gauntlet here. I could have done so earlier, but the fact of the matter is I didn't want to stay in one place for too long and then kind of have such a dramatic shift. You know, try to keep things a little bit fresh. But I actually want to go back to where we had just fought the Goo Titan and the Mist Armor and the Revenants, all that stuff, or Mist Man. And I would like to learn one skill from the Revenants. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get into a battle with them, and I'll meet you guys there. Alright, we've run into a couple of Revenants, so let's take one out, and let's go ahead and use Shield on myself here. Shield, and let's go ahead and equip Gar with an Ares Spear instead of Beast Spear, because this might take a little bit to learn. But the Revenants have an attack called Chill, just like Arwen used to have, or Arwen used on us actually, and it takes a little bit to learn, takes a little bit of time. That's the spell in question, or the skill in question, but the fact of the matter is that he doesn't always use it. He either uses an attack, chill, or uses multi-strike. And the reason why I'm using Shield is because with his attacks, he can actually get a lucky strike that could deal a lot of damage. I'm talking, if you're not shielded up, with even strong equipment like I have, he can hit anywhere between 120 to 140 damage at my level and at my strength and defense and all that. So I'm just gonna bolster up defenses, and jeez, that's what I'm talking right there. 74 damage. I mean, it's a hefty amount. So let's go ahead and just use Shield a couple times, and Ryu's gonna rejuvenate Ray. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just continue examining Revenant until he uses Chill, and I will go ahead and fast forward until we've learned the skill. Well, that's one way to end the fight. Damn reprisals. Fair enough. I'll try round 2 and we'll see if I can learn it a little bit easier. They kicked the hell out of me, but what I'll do now is just try to attempt to learn this skill off screen. Hey, there we go. Finally learned Chill. That first time that I tried to learn Chill from the first Revenant, I mean, after Ryu reprised, I was just getting so tired of it. And then this one, I mean, he kicked the hell out of me before I finally learned it. I mean, look, I even burned a wisdom fruit just there. But finally, I had to look at the lengths I went to just so I didn't reprise him. I equipped myself with things like Thieves' Knives and Ring of Ices and stuff. Let's just equip the Holy Avenger and just get this shit done with, huh? Let's kill him, Ray. Oh, man. that was tough to learn. But I will say, what's nice about learning it is the fact that, hey, we've gotten all skills now. To my knowledge, at the very least, we've gotten every single skill, I believe, in the game. Even Ebb and Fire, because I think that's the only use that Nina had in the game, but, you know, well, hey, you know, at least she served a purpose. But now, we have every skill in the game. We're here at the boss gauntlet. I'm headed back to rest and re-equip myself and all that kind of stuff. And next time, I think we're gonna go even further with the boss gauntlet. I want to show off everything, because you can't actually just inside the room with all the saving book and everything like that. You'll see here that you can just go downstairs, but if you go downstairs right here, down this ladder, well, I mean, you're just gonna advance forward to the true final pathway to Myria and everything. So I'd like to go ahead and figure out all the dungeon, and or I should say show off all the dungeon, and, you know, kind of move from there. So let me rest up, re-equip my characters, and then from there, next time, we'll go ahead and take on all the other monsters, all the other samples, all the other previous entities that we dealt with in a very Mega Man-esque way. At the end of the game, we'll take on the old 8. I think it's actually 10 of them that we fight, but you get what I'm saying. We're gonna fight all the bosses that we used to fight, and I'll catch you guys next time.